Alright, man, so today we're going to be talking about the new update. This is definitely one of my favorite updates so far. Probably the second favorite update, right behind the buff to progression for free-to-play players. Huge update that one was, man. All the free-to-play players were very excited about that update. But this update right here, we have our very first complete character rework with Friedman. So let's go ahead and take a look at that first. So Friedman has a new kit. Gliding dunk, enhanced jump, and double pump have been replaced with post up, step back, pull up, and defense for shot. Now, defense for shot is not the same as it used to be. So as you know, defense for shot used to be a passive ability. We're not going to get too far into that because that's a completely separate section of the video. So next, we're going to be talking about his stats. His mid shot was buffed from 64 to 72. That is a buff of 8 to his base stats. And it is a beautiful buff, man, because it also did not affect how much he got from his cells. So that's going to go much higher than it was before. And it's going to be a whole lot more consistent inside the mid-range area. So his 3-point was buffed from 60 to 65. Also going to make him a little bit more consistent outside that 3-point line. Hoy's 3-point was buffed by 3 at some point in time. It didn't really make that much of a difference, but I was making at least one more out of 10 every single time. So I guess this is a pretty good buff for Friedman. So next we're going to talk about his dunk. It used to be 68, but they nerfed it all the way down to 40. A very, very necessary change to get rid of that dunk based stuff inside of his kit. Reason number 1, his dunks were way too inconsistent. Reason number 2, his power stat is trash. So there was no reason for him to be in there dunking that ball in the first place. You look at someone like Conan, he has 63 power after you max out all of his cells and his masteries. But Friedman, he's down there somewhere probably in the low 50s to high 40s. So Conan makes sense that he has a dunk inside of his kit. Friedman literally made no sense for him to have a dunk inside of there. So they took away his ability to score inside the paint and added it to his ability to score outside the paint. That's definitely going to help a whole bunch, man. But one thing that y'all definitely need to note is with the removal of enhanced jump, you are no longer able to do tricky post-up layups from a longer distance. You basically have to be right under the rim. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. All right, so next, we're going to be talking about the changes to defense for shot. The ability was completely reworked. It's not like the jump stop shot rework where they just changed the level 2 and the level 3. Nope, the entire ability, what it was before, has been completely scrapped, and they replaced it with something different. So it used to be a passive, and it gave you 16% disturbance resistance on every single one of your shots. Yes, 100% guaranteed. You don't have to wait for this to proc or anything. 100% guaranteed. On every single shot, you got 16% disturbance resistance. But Raccoon Digi just dropped the nerf hammer on this ability, man, and it is now an active ability. You have to activate this yourself. I made a video showing y'all how to actually do that. Just check out the Friedman's new abilities video. I definitely talk about it inside of there. But you get a 12% chance to ignore all disturbance. Now, some people are saying this is a huge buff to the ability because there's a 12% chance to ignore all disturbance. But let's be real here, man. Inside the mid-range area, would you rather have a 12% chance to ignore all disturbance or just a flat-out guaranteed 16% disturbance resistance? Now, I'm not complaining because y'all remember when this ability first touched the game, I was saying this ability should not be inside of a game like this, and they finally got rid of it. So shout out to you, Raccoon Digi. I definitely appreciate this nerf. So the pros will ignore all disturbance, and it also adds a drift shot. So David and Friedman now have a drift shot inside their kits, and this drift shot does not reduce their accuracy, not even by 1%. Nowhere in the ability does it say that this ability removes accuracy. So David and Friedman, only characters in the entire game that can do a drift shot with 100% accuracy. But of course, with everything that has good sides, there are also downsides. The downsides are it can only be used while you're dribble restricted. So after a pump fake, after a dribble move into a step back, you will also be dribble restricted. Or if you do a dribble move when you bump into your defender, you don't get knocked down. You can be dribble restricted that way as well. So make sure y'all keep all that stuff in mind. The pros definitely outweigh the cons, and I'm very grateful for this nerf because that ability should not have been in this game in the first place. So next, we're going to talk about the new level 4s. First up, we're going to be talking about lightning. Now, people have been reading that notice that pops up on our screen every time we sign in, and they're constantly asking me, why is Albert getting a level 4 block avoiding? He's not. They just put the wrong name on there, bro. I don't know how they got Albert mixed up with lightning. So block avoiding level 4, you're going to get 10% extra triggering probability. So you're going to activate this a whole lot more, and it's going to be a 5% less accuracy decrease. So you're going to be a lot more accurate when you're firing that shot off as well. So hopefully this level 4 makes it so the ability isn't absolutely useless like it was before. I was seeing this ability activate like once a year. That's just how low of a chance it has to activate, man. So hopefully those Lightning players, they'll be a lot more bold to take those dunks and trigger this block avoiding and get that shot on in there. So next we're going to be talking about Uncle Kevin. He has a level 4 post-up dribble. Now, anyone who has played against Amanda, you know what this does already. After his post-up, he's going to do a dribble move or 2 dribble moves. He can't do a step back, though, so make sure y'all keep that in mind. So it allows him to use dribble moves after a post-up like Amanda. It's not really that big of a deal because he does not have a jump stop shot like Amanda does, but this can definitely help him get closer to the paint a whole lot faster than it would before, so I'm not going to complain. All right, and last, the highlight of this update, we're going to be talking about Takumi or Takumi or Takumi or Takamai or whatever, man. I don't know how to pronounce this raccoon digi. There's just so many different ways you could possibly do it. So first up, we're going to be talking about his abilities. So his first ability we're going to talk about is called crossover. So this ability would allow you to safely blow by your defender, and it can be connected to dribble moves. Think about something like turnaround pass. It's somewhat similar to that, but there are some extra animations that you can throw in there to throw your defender off. So next, we're going to be talking about behind the back. So it's behind the back, literally the exact same thing as Marcus and Susan. We don't have to go too much further into that ability. So next, we're going to be talking about his exclusive brand spanking new ability. Now, anyone that's been subscribed to me for a very long time, a while back, I made a point guard that had an ability where you could pass the ball during a dribble move. We finally got a point guard that can pass during a dribble move. So it allows him to use a pinpoint pass. Yes, a pinpoint pass at the end of a dribble move, no matter how far away you are from your teammates. So let's say you do a dribble move, your teammates literally standing like 1 inch away from you. It'll still trigger a pinpoint pass and it still will not be intercepted. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. You want to avoid those intercepts. Definitely make sure you're using this dribbling pass, man. So we're going to talk about the good sides on this ability. So it gives him pinpoint pass and it can't be intercepted. The bad sides, though, is that it can only trigger at the end of a dribble move. So if you just start your dribble move, it won't pass. If you're in the middle of your dribble move, it will not pass. It's gonna wait until the dribble move animation ends completely, and then at the very end of that dribble move, he's just gonna immediately do a pinpoint pass to the desired teammate. So the last ability inside of his kit is called Fancy Step Back. So this allows you to move after a step back that would normally restrict you from dribbling at level 4, and it definitely comes in handy, man, because a lot of the time when you're playing shooting guard, you'll do a dribble move and you'll accidentally do a step back, and you'll just be stuck there, forced to pass the ball. But with this character right here, if you do a step back by accident or even on purpose, you're not going to be restricted from dribbling. So don't be afraid to do dribble moves and the step backs with this character. So the animation on this is similar to a turnaround step back. Well, it's basically the exact same thing, but there are some slight differences. One, this ability right here does not go as far back as a regular turnaround step back. And two, it doesn't go as fast as a regular turnaround step back. So it's not as strong, but it still comes in handy. The animation is the same. The dribble move following this step back is the exact same thing as a turnaround step back. So you can do the little combos that you do with Marcus, but there is no pull up. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. So this character right here, he's basically like a Marcus without pull up or a Susan with turnaround step back. Overall, I feel like he's a pretty good character, but teammates don't really understand to give him space. He is an ISO point guard. His job is to force multiple people to come pick him up, and then he passes to the wide open man. So that's just about cover everything, man. Go ahead and drop inside the comments what y'all think about this update. I'm extremely hyped for the Friedman changes. I'm extremely hyped for the nerf to defense 4 shot that I have been waiting like a whole year for. I'm so grateful, Raccoon Digi. Thank you so much. So that's it. Now catch y'all on the next one.